Okay, we are all set. Welcome to Moxi Monday. I am Elizabeth Glass. I'm one of the trainers with the company, and we are very excited to show you something new today. It's a new tool that we just got turned on that you all should have in now your Moxi Present suite. So we're excited because we're all about the branding and making sure we're showcasing such a high quality, stunning product. And we have a new feature that we've turned on through Moxi Present that does just that. So what we're going to show you today is a new feature in the M suite of MoxiWorks, which is called M Present. What we're looking at right now is actually our black book. So that's our digital luxury presentation book for our luxury properties. So for those who don't know, it's cbblackbook.com. But if you guys know, and if you're familiar with the global luxury branding, it's always really stunning photos. And then we've got this really nice black band that goes across it, which is semi-transparent. And it just lends a high-level marketing, especially to that of a high-end property. What's really nice is we have a new tool that allows us to now take our Moxi Present presentations and now make them branded exactly like this. So let me give you a quick little 3-second preview and we'll actually jump in. And the neat part about this is not only can you create new presentations with this new layout, you can also take your existing presentations and literally with just like 2 clicks, turn it into this new layout to make it nice and easy and branded. So as you can see, this is just from MoxiWorks.com, and it does lend a different visual point, and it does tend to be what caters more to the higher end luxury branding and marketing. So we've got our photos, we got clear text throughout it. We kind of want to keep this feeling throughout. That's exactly the same thing that we have going on with our global luxury. And when you print it out, it also has a high-end feeling to it. So M Present, it's called M Present. Basically, it just allows you to have a high-end material in print and also digital format to do a luxury presentation. So let's take a quick look. And I want you guys to keep your eyes on this because this is for anybody. Remember, anybody within our company can actually utilize the luxury and become a luxury specialist, but you can actually sell luxury property without doing so. So we're also making sure you guys are connected with your local luxury ambassadors. In the meantime, I want to give you a quick little sneak peek. So here is just a quick visual of a presentation. And as you guys can see, the graphic is crisp and clean. That would be the property in showcase. Then we also have the clear little, the transparent black band in here, which brands it very beautifully. And the entire presentation is pre-made as well so that it is inclusive of the interactive portion. So you don't lose any of that interaction, which is great. And it's already in your Moxi Present system and you're learning nothing new today. I'm just going to show you where to turn it on and make it easy for you guys. So that's really cool that it's a new product, but it's built into what we have. So there's nothing really new to learn except where the option for this to turn it on is. So again, we still have all the same interaction that we had previously. You don't lose any of that, but we just have an element of marketing. It's got the graphics, the branding, all of the logos should be good in your area. If you do notice something, just let us know. But again, we still have the side-by-side comparisons and all of that. So let me jump in. I'm going to show you very quickly 2 ways to utilize this new beautiful M Suite luxury branding tool for your presentations. So to start, we are logging into MoxiWorks. Once you're logged into MoxiWorks, there is a navigational panel at the top. As always, we are going to click on Present to get into our presentation tool. That is your listing presentation, your buying presentation, buyer tour, or even your personal presentation. So here's the cool thing. We can actually do one of 2 things. What you're looking at now is My Presentation Library. So every time you create a presentation, it saves it for you and keeps it in this library here. If you're new to the product, you'll have nothing here until you create a presentation. So just keep that in mind. If you get here and you don't see anything, don't worry. Basically, this is just the ones that have been made. But what makes it really nice and easy, so let's say, for instance, this one right here. I'm actually going to very quickly switch it and change it out This is a general, regular blue residential presentation, so catering to a less luxury market. What I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and click on these 3 dots. So even though my property was high in price and it qualified for luxury, it was just a general presentation because I did it for a training. Now I'm going to turn this presentation that exists into the new luxury M Present presentation by just doing that little click of those 3 little buttons. They get out right here at the bottom right of each presentation, clicking on those 3 dots and clicking on settings. Within seconds, it's done because look, these are our classic presentations and this is the new luxury presentation. So instantly by clicking on luxury, it's going to say, basically make sure you're acknowledging, you're changing everything, the layouts and all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit accept. And then I'm going to hit save, and that immediately turned my presentation into that new M Suite luxury presentation. And I can tell because this is dark black and white versus this standard classic white background. So if I wanted to now take a quick peek at that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on my presentation and I'm able to view it very quickly. Let's take a quick look. You can see it still loads the same, but we're now locating this in a different viewpoint. Here we go. There we go. So now we've got the band on the bottom and I'm just going to continue down here. I'm not really going to go through because all of the presentation slides are the same. We're not losing the content. We're just adding the visual appeal to the present look here too. So as you guys can see, everything is still the same. I made this previously and all I did was I did a very quick click and I changed it to the visual layout of the new M Suite, which is very, very exciting. So let me go ahead and show you the other way to do it. Again, this is an easy training today because it's nothing new to really learn per se. We're going to create a presentation really quick from scratch, and I'm just going to show you where to select the new M Present luxury option. Top right-hand corner, we're going to click Create New. This is the same exact process as any other presentation you have ever made. So nothing has changed. Exactly like as if I was going in to make a creation before, I would just select what type of presentation I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select a seller presentation and I'm going to hit continue. I'm going to continue with this right here where it says default. So remember that it's under the standard default we're used to going under, and we're going to hit continue. Now here is where the option shows up. It's very quick and simple. If I wanted the classic presentation, I would leave this as the default, but since I want the luxury new M Suite presentation option, I'm going to click on luxury. We're going to go ahead and just say this is for, let's say, Sarah. Okay, so that's going to be who we're making the presentation for, and I'm going to say create. Instantaneously, it's creating the presentation for us, and then now we're just going to go ahead and populate the presentation. Since I chose a seller presentation, this is for a property, I'm going to do what I've always done before and make it easy on myself. Plug the MLS number right in here. So in this instance, I just grabbed a luxury and property just to showcase one today. And the nice thing is if I have an MLS number, so if it's on the market now, or it previously was on the market, there is an MLS number associated with it. You can plug that MLS number in here. Maybe make sure I put it in correctly. Yes, I did. And I'm going to hit the word copy. Now it's going to intuitively pull it all in from the MLS, plug in the photos, and now you can see all of the data was instantaneously auto-populated. So we don't lose the functionality of the ease of using it here. We continue working with the product the same as we always have. In the event you do not have an MLS number, maybe it was brand new property, it's the first time in the market, or it's been more than 6-7 years and the MLS number just doesn't feed through, you can very simply continue by just entering the information in yourself in these 2 sections here. It will continue to still have the same intuitive features beyond this point. Now, as soon as I'm done plugging in my information or the MLS number, I'm going to do what I've always done when we've created presentations, and the rest is exactly the same, which is what we love so much. we have the next step. And if you notice here, just like the standard presentation, there are 5 steps that it walks you through right away. Subject property, which is where we just were, putting in the MLS number. The next section is search, which is where it then automatically pulls for us the comps based on pulling the information data from the MLS. So we've just saved you a step. Now you're going to just take your due diligence to click on each one of these to make sure you want to include it in your presentation, just so that you can make sure it's an accurate comp. Now you're going to click on details and it's going to show you the information. None of this has changed. I'm just reiterating the information just as a reminder. Once you have confirmed which properties you want to show up on your presentation or your comparative market analysis, you're going to select that property simply by clicking on the plus sign over the photo. Every single one that you do not select will not be included. And we do like to recommend that you do some active properties. You also have some contingent, and then you include some solds as well. Now you guys will take a little bit longer than I'm doing here. I just want to do it pretty quickly just to show you the product itself in a training format. So as you can see here, right next to where it says listings, I have 6 properties included. If I wanted to do a virtual or digital draw here, I would be able to do the same thing like I always have been. If I were to click on draw and then quick draw, it'll allow me to say, I want to be just in this area right here. It's going to filter out all the ones that are not in that area and give me just the ones that are. And this is because we do have people that are super specific and hypersensitive to street or community. For this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clear that, and then I'm going to hit exit. We have the same option if you want to be super specific about schools, or if you wanted to have, maybe if I did the draw option and multi-draw, that would mean I would be able to draw, I would like to be on this end of town, and then down here another circle and say this end of town, and it would cut out everything else that is not in those 2 circles. Radius is the same function, where if you click on an area, it will give you so many miles within that point. So functionality at this point is still the same. We're going to go to the next step here. Takes us right down the line here. So it's nice and easy, because even if I go back and forth, it doesn't make me re-enter any information. It all stays the same. This next step where it says listings is the display order. So if you would like to dictate how they want to present themselves, high to low, low to high, you can do that here. The next step is estimate. And remember, I just want to kind of reiterate this as well, as you see me kind of going back and forth. There's 2 ways to get to the next step. One is at the very bottom of each page, there is a continue button. It is the same thing if you hit continue, then if you also just click to the next option here, it saves the same way. Now here is where you're going to have estimated pricing. So this is just the estimated pricing based off what data was in here versus the comparative market. However, if you wanted to, this is where I recommend you saying, let's say this is for a property seller, and you're saying, I would recommend it at $589 as is, but you could actually sit here and type in here. This is where you would say, for example, I could say $589, but if you redid your flooring or you redid maybe the basement, you could then market it at $650,000 or whatever the dollar amount is based off whatever the value of the changes they've made in their property could be. So this is just what the estimated pricing would be, the dollar amount. You can change any of this, but if you also wanted to put your remarks on what it could be if you did any additions, you would type that here, or any special remarks you would have whatsoever. I'm just going to put that in here just so you can see that. And again, we're going to hit continue, or we're going to go to the next section. So we're done. The layout is created for us, as you guys can see. We already have the presentation in the format that we need with our new M suite. And then over here, we've got the layout of the presentation itself. And just to clarify again, if we click on these, it's going to show us the individual pages. Anything that I hover over with an X allows me to remove it. And if I click on the dots, some of them allow me to edit them. And then some of them just say view PDF. So you're able to edit some of them as well. So the other thing that's great about this is because we have a different flow, right? We all speak differently and how we want to communicate. So if we decide that we wanted to have maybe days on the market before listing averages, we're able to grab this graphic and move it very quickly. So again, same as the normal Moxi Present we're used to working with. Now, this particular presentation is basic in its information as far as the interactive tools. What you will do is you will want to add in the additional pages that brand the company or yourself in addition to this basic tool set here that we have, the basic Present presentation. To do that, just like before, you're going to go to the top of that left navigational side panel. We are going to hit Add Page and then Add from Library. This is exactly the same. None of this has changed. So all of the paperwork that you were used to seeing before, the documents, the digital documents, they're all in here still. We are viewing right now report pages. As you can see in the left navigational panel, the one that's blue is what shows here. And so what that means is this is what's currently in my presentation. If I wanted to add those interactive CBX pages where it helps actually find your potential buyer for that property, it's very simple in that we're clicking on CBX pages and we're going to click Add. Now we do have full trainings on these as well, so you can always make sure you check the Schmidt Video Classroom to get any more specifics on using a presentation or doing any of the things I'm showing you now. I just kind of wanted to run through it real quick to show you it to you in the Present style. So if I added them, but if I wanted to maybe make them as, take it off and I didn't want it after all, I could just hit remove and then it immediately takes it off or adds it to the presentation. Underneath CBX pages, my pages is anything that you have custom created. So if you've made it a custom page prior, it would show up here. Brokerage pages are our pages here. So our Schmidt family of company pages. So in this particular instance, it's M Suite, which is for luxury branding. We would jump right up here to where it says the Black Book pages, which is literally our luxury presentation digital book and print book. And we would be able to view it by clicking on it. You can just click on it and it's going to open that page. And this does mimic cbblackbook.com. So as I showed you initially, if you guys like to just go to cbblackbook.com, you can literally scroll through and find the pages that you want. So this would be an amazing page to have here. So you're showing your online syndication where it's feeding to and all of these important pieces. Well, they're all here. The only thing you need to do, let me find the right one that I was on. Nope. Sorry, okay. It still has the same text as well. So you're just going to go through, and when you actually find the pages you want to add, you're just going to go to the top and hit the add button. Or what I do to make it easier, because again, the labels of each page match and mimic that of the Black Book, I can just come in here and look for like expansive online syndication or look for some of those wordings. And very quickly, within a second, I'm just going to find those in here, and then I'm going to jump to the side and hit the word add. So this is a one-time setup. You're going to get your presentation built up to have inclusive of what you would like in addition to what comes standard. I'm just going to add a couple in here real quick just to show you how I can add them in. Just like before, I'm going to do success by the numbers. I think that's a good one. Right here, we're going to do marketing masters 360 right here. That's the one I wanted. Again, remember how the word of the page on Blue Book said online syndication? Here you go. So we actually have this information right here for you. So we're just going to add it in. And again, this is going to be the branding, the story. This is your numbers, your stats. The existing presentation that's created for you, it is the interactive tools linking to the MLS so they can see the comprehensive market analysis of their property compared to others. Now, this is going to be the story of why they should pick you over the other agent because of our tools and our technology. Our Black Book does all the work for you. You don't need to sit there and say, me, 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 me. Our book does that for you. Our Black Book, our marketing does that beautiful presentation. And that way, when it comes time for your actual conversation with your client, your presentations, you're focusing on them, what they need, and you're listening to them versus talking about yourself. So this is a pre-built presentation that you can add to. You can send this to your client in advance to speaking with them, or what's really great is it is mobile responsive. So I could do this on the fly. I could literally meet you at the grocery store, and I could say, well, let's meet at the coffee shop around the corner in 15 minutes. And I can have a presentation made for you, custom to you, your house, and your property, built with this beautiful presentation layout. So we make it very easy for you guys to kind of work on the fly. But what we'd like for you to do is just to kind of come in and play with it before it's time. That way you're ready. So I've showed you how to very quickly add some pages. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back just to show you where I went and did that. We were at our final step, which was pages. If you notice at the top, we went through subject, property, then search, which is where it pulled the properties that were our comparative analysis properties. Then we went to listings, estimate, and then we were on pages. This is literally the layout of your presentation. And what you're looking at now is the buyer profile page that I added. So it can literally, using what we call big data, find the most likely buyer for your specific property in question. So I literally was looking up Kylemore Avenue. This is the likelihood of where your buyer is going to be. And it tells you not only in specific to the area, to even the neighborhood, it tells you by color code, which your highest match is, but it also tells you kind of where you're at with a buying point, right? What kind of a degree they have, what element of a dollar amount they're likely to bring in. Basically, it even tells you, specifics down to where are they at? Are they listening to the radio? Are they most on Google versus Facebook? And then that way you're able to pinpoint your marketing to spend your dollars to accurately get the right person and trigger point that person versus just throwing your money out there and advertising to the world and hoping somebody sees it. So these are very important to make sure you have in your presentation. We have a whole, again, Moxi Monday on just that. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how I would just really quickly pull this down. And then I would probably have some of these, a little bit mixed in. And then when it comes to the company marketing, you can decide if you want to have some of the company pages that we've added in here like this. I'm able to jump in and say, maybe I want that more towards the end after they've really jumped in and looked at their property and connected with their property. But this was just to show you very quickly how we could manipulate the layout here. So I've showed you how to turn it on, and I've also showed you how to add additional pages to it. Now let me show you how to visually view it, but then in addition to that, I want to show you also how to send it, which is again, exactly the same as Moxi Present has always been. It has not changed. At the top, we have the view option. If I'm going to click on that and I click the web option, this is your digital presentation. It loads automatically. Your seller or whoever your client is or whoever's reading it or watching it has a very easy use for this in the fact that they can just scroll down. They can come to the bottom right-hand corner, which is what I tend to like. We have an up arrow, which takes us up a slide. You have the down arrow, which takes you down one slide, and then it just walks you through the presentation. And then for you as an agent to have a great flow of conversation, you're able to use the middle button here. So this middle looks like a couple of lines here, sandwich, hamburger, whatever you guys want to call it. Clicking on that opens up all the pages. So what I would like to say is that if I'm talking to a client and we're running through the presentation, we've basically made it through, we're talking, or even they're looking at it themselves, it's very easy for us to very quickly, if they ask us a question and we're down, let's say I'm going to fly through here, I'm going to go down and be on page, where are we at here? Here we go. Page 11 of 20. And then they asked me a question, well, wait, where was that again that you syndicate to, or that I'm going to show up on? What websites will I show up on? You're going to be able to come down in that bottom right-hand corner, click on that middle section here, which is going to expand to show you all the pages. And I can jump back up here. And because again, they're worded specifically with what the page is, it makes it so very easy for you to jump up and just fly with a quick little click and get right back in there. That way you're not broken up by like, oh my gosh, I don't know what page it is. And you're sitting here scrolling and scrolling, which sometimes can mentally stop people. So we've made it very easy to use. It's very simplistic in how to turn it on. But essentially you're using the same presentation tool with all of the same options The difference is we are now branding it everywhere. And the more you add pages, you'll kind of see. But not only do you have the branding in the colors, but you have the branding in the look, the way the photos are laid out. And again, we even have our logos in here correctly as well. So that's pretty much it for M Present. It's a nice, new, easy option. I want to remind you there's 2 ways to do so. I'm going to go ahead and clear out some of these babies because I have so many presentations at this point. Okay, here we go. So let's go start from the beginning. You're going to log into your MoxiWorks account. You can do so by going to schmidtresources.com and clicking on the Moxi square, or you can go directly to my.schmidtresources.com, which takes you to Moxi. You are going to click Present in the top panel, which is going to open up our presentation tool. 2 ways to go ahead and create your new M Present Suites options. One way is when your library loads, you can take an existing property if you wanted to brand it for luxury, or I would say global luxury to match our brand. You would take the property and on the bottom right-hand corner, click the 3 dots, and then you're going to click Settings, and then you're going to choose the luxury option. As soon as you do that, it's going to make you say that you accept the terms, that it's changing the presentation. You're going to come over here and hit Save at the bottom right. Now you know that it worked because it just changed it from the classic white presentation, which is our standard residential, or we call blue presentation. And then now it's black. So we now know that's global luxury. And then again, if I wanted to still change this presentation or add to it or update any information, I'm able to come in and just click on it and just still have the functionality of running through these steps just like before. So we still have the same components. I'm going to go ahead and check chat. If you guys have any questions, let me know what you think. But let me know if you have questions, but then also let me know if you like this new M Suite option. We like to continuously give back to Moxi when they're trying to work and make options for us to brand us essentially the way that we want you to be branded, that you want to be branded, and we want to let them know as well if these are things that you're liking, because it continues to fuel the fire when we work towards getting some new options for you. So go ahead and go into your chat box if you have any questions. But again, that was one option. The other option to just get to our new M Suite is to create new at the top right-hand corner. And then when we go to our presentation, we're going to continue to do the exact same steps we've always done. Choose what type of presentation. You're going to make sure you're still selecting default seller. You do not need to change to go to any of these options. We're going to hit continue. Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Brokerage templates. Here we go. Continue. And then the option is at the bottom for luxury. So there we go. You now have an opportunity to create a luxury presentation branded for luxury with a high-end scale look. And then for you guys, when you start looking through your pages, you're going to see they're all branded very, very nicely. But I think that's pretty much it. It's a great new option. If you wanted to check out a little bit more, look at some of the options. If you went to MoxiWorks.com, then we actually have an area in here for just M Present. And just as an update for some that were maybe looking for Impress today, we're working on getting some of those assets in, we believe the brand is, and then it will be turned on for everybody. We will keep you updated for Impress. So there is also a version of Impress that is branded as well for luxury. So as we roll these things out, we'll continue to showcase to you how they work for you and your brand. All right, I think we are good. We're right at 10:46. I don't see any questions. So hopefully that was pretty easy and self-explanatory. Hopefully everybody that wants to market on a global luxury end is excited to now have a new brand tool inside that you don't have to do anything extra to, but just click a button. At that note, I think we're going to end off. Thank you guys so much for coming to Moxi Monday today. As always, if you have any questions, we have a fully equipped power team to help you. Your ASC is always versed in Moxi. Your regional trainer or our company trainers as well, so any of us, but then also your RSC or your manager typically can help you with anything at all. So if you have any questions at any time, feel free to ask us. And if you need for us to go into your account and check something out, please reach out. We'd like to help you in just a couple minutes versus you guys spend like an hour to do something. So that's it. Thanks guys so much. Happy Monday. Have a great rest of your week and enjoy using the new M Suite product we've rolled out for Moxi Present. Thanks guys so much. You guys have a great and awesome day.